How to double your income on any rental property. I'm Noelle Randall. I am a multimillionaire and I became so through real estate. But I used to be broke, bankrupt, and have bad credit. And it truly is real estate that turned me into a multimillionaire, basically by flipping properties and then having rental properties. But you hear so many horror stories about owning rental properties and being a landlord that I'm going to share with you how to eliminate all of those traps and how to double your income on real estate so that you can unlock tons of real estate wealth. Let's go.
Noelle. Yeah, she can fix that. You gotta get it done, or you need to do it better. Well, she can fix that. Yeah, she can fix that. Investment to get back, trying to get a big stack. She can fix that. Let's fix that.
Let's get right into it. So when it comes to owning real estate, most people think that this is all about crazy tenants, having to evict people, and just the headache of owning real estate. But for me, it really has mostly been income, and wealth. It literally has been money coming in every single month and then a big check when I sell that rental property. So I have figured out quite a bit of things on how to run rental properties. I'm going to share with you the secrets so that you can unlock wealth like most top real estate experts experience. Let's first talk about tenants. We have two different strategies when it comes to rental properties. You have long-term tenants where you can just rent your properties out vacant and unfurnished. And that's actually how I became a millionaire through real estate. And then there's short-term rentals. But I'm going to talk about long-term rentals because that truly is a more passive way to earn money. If you do short-term rentals like Airbnbs and HomeAway and Booking.com and all of that, it is not as passive and it truly requires more work. You actually can have a much more passive experience if you truly deal with long-term tenants. And I have an amazing sponsor, TurboTenant, that I'm going to share with you a little bit later. So let's get into how you can make more money with long-term tenants, just renting vacant and unfurnished properties so that it can be more passive and you don't have to do so much work. Number one, better tenants. When it comes to owning real estate and being a person that manages your own property, if you choose not to get a property manager, which is what I'm kind of suggesting in this video, yes, I actually am a licensed broker and I'm a property manager. But if you actually want more of your money, you can actually do that by getting better tenants. Why most people get a property manager to manage their rental properties or they have someone else do it like a real estate broker is because for them, it is such a headache trying to find good tenants, how to screen them. And I'm going to share with you some real secrets and some easy ways to get better tenants because you truly can get really wealthy if you have rental properties with great tenants in them. Easy, right? Let's get into this. So when we're talking about finding better tenants, let's talk better tenants. That means you have to screen them better. With my sponsor, TurboTenant, there is a link in the description box. You can go to noellerandall.com/TurboTenant and get this software absolutely free. If you are a pro or you have a team, you can pay for one of those versions, but TurboTenant is actually free. And you can actually screen for better tenants. And I'm not just talking about screen their rental history or their credit report. Yeah, that's one way. But when it comes to better tenants, it's not just their credit history. That is one. That is important. Making sure that they pay other people, that is an indication if they will pay you. Number two, what is their employment history? Do they have gaps in their employment? Are they have stable and consistent income? This is very important. And many landlords and why they fail and have all these headaches, they do not screen tenants properly, or they only screen for the credit or the rental pay history. But let's go a little bit deeper and let me show you how you can get better tenants by doing deeper screenings. So again, not just credit, not just the job. Let's keep going deeper. Actually call the employer. Make sure that they're a good employee. Make sure they actually work there and don't just take the tenant's word for it. Actually call and do the screening or have someone actually call and screen to make sure that their income is stable, they're not about to get laid off, that they actually work there, that they're actually showing up to work. They're not just someone that's about to get fired. That is really important. And so many landlords miss this part. Let's keep going. Criminal history. Criminal history is actually something you should screen for. If someone is a felon or they're violent and different things like that, this is how you get a lot of issues with tenants fighting in your property or domestic violence calls and different things that just really end up being a headache for you is you not screening to make sure that this person and everyone living in the home, if they have a criminal history or not. You actually have to dive deeper and not just check to see if someone has paid their rent, but check to see all of these areas that I have named so that you can get a better tenant. One more thing. Don't rush. Do not just feel desperate like, oh man, I have a mortgage on this rental property, so I am just going to accept any tenant. This is a huge mistake that I see so many landlords and even some property managers do, but really good property managers and real estate brokers know that you have to take your time and find good tenants. Don't just act desperate. Don't settle for someone just because they came and they filled out an application. If you're not getting enough traffic, I'm going to share with you some ways to get more traffic, more applications, and more eyes on your rental property so that you have a competition going and you can get those good tenants that's going to pay the rent, stay there, and take care of the property. Let's keep going. Number 2, increase your rent over time. So an amazing thing that I have noticed in my rental business and how I made lots of money and grew my wealth is I did not have low rents. I did not try to be the cheapest person in the market. I did not look into see what other people were renting properties on my street and on my neighborhood and then try to go lower than they did. I actually would price mine fairly in the middle. And again, tools like TurboTenant actually give you data analysis so that you can see what other properties are renting for in your area and similar properties. This is an amazing tool that, again, is available at TurboTenant with some of their premium or pro programs. But again, you actually can get TurboTenant absolutely free. Just go to noellerandall.com/TurboTenant. This will allow you to manage your own properties without having to give away some of your income to a property manager or to someone else to manage it. You really can manage your own rental properties. I did for many years, and it does not have to be the headache that people say. TurboTenant will actually open up what is available and give you a lot more data and analysis on your rental properties. It will give you reports, and you can manage your expenses. You actually can be a much better do-it-yourself landlord with TurboTenant. And again, you can go to noellerandall.com/TurboTenant, and this will give you a better view and analysis on what's available for your rental property, because many people are not charging enough for their rent. They're missing out on income there, and they're not writing their leases. They're not increasing that rent over time. You can write a lease where the year one, you can do 3-year leases is one of the things that I would do. I'll talk about that in just a second. But one of the things that you can do is write a 1-year, 2-year, or a 3-year lease and increase the rent over time. You can increase it 3 months, 6 months, a year, but you should put in rental increases because, again, inflation, things get more expensive and people's rents do go up over time. And you trying to be the low cost leader, trying to be that lowest price point is not going to attract the best tenants. Again, you want to be fair with your pricing, but at the same time, you are doing a business and this is about growing your wealth. That's the reason why you have rental properties. All right, let me tell you about number 3, maintenance. Better maintenance and better maintained properties are going to attract better tenants. If you feel like you're a landlord who has no interest in really getting into properties, in fact, I actually have a sibling of mine that owned rental properties and just thought, I don't want to do anything with this rental property. I want to give it to the tenant and they handle the property and leave me alone. Well, guess what? They destroyed that property. She had some of, to me, the worst tenants ever. I was actually shocked when I went into her rental property at how poorly maintained that property was. The tenants do not own the property, so in many cases, they do not care, and nor should they. That is your property. That is your asset as the landlord. So value it as such. That is one of the reasons I became a millionaire in real estate. I would make sure to maintain my properties, change the HVAC filters, cut the grass, go by the property, make sure the electrical, the plumbing, go inside the property and do inspections. I would schedule maintenance. Basically, follow some of the things that very large apartment complexes do. You do the same thing with your property. And again, with TurboTenant, it can help you actually maintain this maintenance records. This way, you know when the last time you changed the air filters in the HVAC, or you know the last time that you inspected the electricity or the pool or whatever items in the home. You have to actually go check them and maintain them. And you want to keep good records of that because you want to be able to show tenants, this is what you do. This is how you maintain the property. And it actually increases the resale value of your rental property when you go to sell it because you have all of those records. As I mentioned before, you can go to noellerandall.com/TurboTenant and get TurboTenant for free. And with some of the higher subscriptions, you can actually maintain all of your maintenance records. This is very important. Number 4, furnished rentals. If you really want to double your rental income, I strongly suggest you doing furnished rentals. I know it's actually going to be a more niche market. So of course, if you do your properties vacant and unfurnished, you are going to have more traffic because that is what most people think when they think of renting a home or a condo. They think I'm going to just rent this place and put all of my stuff in there. But I actually have been able to make way more money by furnishing the property and charging that premium for the furniture that is in there, charging an extra security deposit, and sending in my team to inspect the furniture and different things like that periodically. Additionally, you will attract a different type of tenant. So, of course, you will want to attract a tenant maybe from the international space, or a tenant that is relocating to the area. So most of their furniture and things like that is in storage. This way, your property is maintained to the way that you like it. Now, again, this is going to cost you money because you have to put the furniture in the properties, but the photos and the videos and all of those things actually look a lot better because you designed the property and you put the decor the way that it should be. So, of course, it's not going to be crazy decor like beds against windows or in corners, or, curtains with windows covered with sheets instead of curtains or drapes. You, of course, are staging the property essentially for someone to live in. So you are going to actually decorate the property the way that it should be so that it looks really nice in pictures and photos. And the person that rents the property just has to maintain it. Additionally, you charge a premium for that furniture. Because it is a furnished rental, you get a lot of corporate relocations, you get a lot of international people relocating, or people relocating from one state to another. So it actually attracts a different type of tenant. And again, TurboTenant can actually help you attract different tenants from different states. It is a national website that you can go to. Again, you can get TurboTenant absolutely free. Just go to noellerandall.com/TurboTenant. If you are a landlord with even one property, or even if you have several properties, TurboTenant is amazing with helping you manage those properties, manage, again, how much rent you're charging, get data on how much you should be charging, getting those maintenance and expenses all recorded, and having all of those reports and that information right there. TurboTenant is an amazing assistant to help you get more money from your rental properties and actually manage it yourself so that you don't have to even pay someone else to manage it. Someone like Noelle Randall would charge you 8% usually on a vacant property. And with a furnished property, I usually charge 10 to 12%. But guess what? If you can manage the properties yourself with things like TurboTenant, which is an amazing software and tool that was designed by someone that actually has rental property, so it's really cool. And again, you can get a free subscription, or if you want to do a premium or pro, you can do those as well. Again, just go to noellerandall.com/TurboTenant. All right, let me give you one more tip on how you can double your income on any rental property. Better locations. If we are talking about rental properties, so many people look for rental properties that they feel are, affordable. So in many cases, people will say, I want to be a landlord. I want to be a real estate mogul. I want a portfolio of real estate. I want to be like you, Noelle Randall. I say, great. Let's start finding some people that are in distress, and let's focus on some zip codes that are in great areas that we know are highly appreciated. We know we have good net migration, meaning more people are coming than leaving. We know that incomes are higher in that area. Maybe we know educational levels are higher in that area. Maybe we even know about different economic development initiatives that are happening in the area. Like, okay, Amazon is building a factory 10 miles from here, or, Hewlett Packard is bringing their corporate office here, or, some other tech company is bringing, something here. So again, economic initiatives would be like things that are coming to the area that will boost up the economy in that local economy, just to give the definition to that. So better properties and better locations will actually double your income. And so one of the things that I got very strategic about in order to take myself from a broke, bankrupt nobody to a real estate millionaire was actually finding and targeting better properties. If I have better properties, not in crime-ridden areas, not in areas that are really cheap so I can buy a property there, it's cheap, it's affordable for me. If I actually can find some better areas, again, in the median price range of my area, I actually will make more money. Not only will I make more money with rents, and I can charge more for rents, actually, even when I go to sell my properties. And I, Noelle Randall, am a real estate entrepreneur. I'm an investor. I usually sell my rental properties every 2 to 5 years to refresh my inventory and get more properties in. Again, real estate is a very easy way to build wealth. You have that cash flow coming in from your rental properties, and then you have those large lump sums of cash that you get when you sell them, and you can easily reinvest that. So say, for example, I buy a property, I'm making $400 or $500 per month. Okay, that's great. Maybe if I'm breaking even in some cases, or, making a couple $100 a month. I really don't want to lose money on my rental properties on a monthly basis. But the real money is in that appreciation and in that equity. So as the tenant is paying down that mortgage, well, guess what? My value is going up, which is building my equity. So when I go to sell that property, guess what? That large lump sum of cash comes to me. Usually when I sell a rental property, I make at least $100,000, at least. So just think about that. If you have a portfolio of 10, 20, even 7 or 8 properties, you easily can create $1 million income and empire for yourself very easily. And I'm not just talking about millionaire on paper. I'm talking about selling off 1 or 2 of those properties every single year and getting a couple more. So I sell 1 property, I get 3 or 4 more. I easily snowball my wealth, and you could do the same thing. What happens with most investors is they buy properties that are not ideal. They are not in ideal areas. Many times they're inherited, totally okay, or they just bought some cheap property in a high crime area thinking this was going to be a great rental property, or they could get like Section 8 people and different things like that. Well, even people on Section 8 want properties in nice area. No one wants to live in a high crime area. So start thinking very strategically so that you can build your wealth. Again, one more thing, and this is a bonus just for you. You can fire your property manager. I know I'm a licensed real estate broker. I've been licensed. I'm a property manager. I have lots of clients that have me manage their property. And I'm telling you unequivocally, you can fire your property manager. You can have a property manager for a year, 2 years, 6 months, whatever it takes for you to learn what they do. And then you can take that over yourself. You do not have to always have a property manager, especially if you feel like you're young and you're active, or you have the time to do it and you really want to learn the business. You actually will keep more money in your pocket if you manage your properties yourself. However, for some people, it becomes a headache, a hassle, and that takes them out of the investing world, and they don't want to do that. So you get to decide who you are as a real estate entrepreneur. But again, tools like TurboTenant will help you fire your property manager. You literally can do it yourself. TurboTenant has all of the things that a property manager uses and pays for and needs. Therefore, you could do it yourself with a tool like TurboTenant. Again, go to noellerandall.com/TurboTenant. Again, this is absolutely free. Whether you have 1 rental property or whether you have 24 rental properties, you can get TurboTenant and you can use this tool for free. And if at any point you want to upgrade, you absolutely can. I love TurboTenant. It's a great tool. I strongly suggest that you can fire your property manager. Again, I am a property manager, and I'm telling you, what I do, other people can do for themselves. It just depends on how much money you want to keep in your pocket. Well, TurboTenant is here to help you keep all the money in your pocket and help you manage that property with as little hassle as possible. Again, go to noellerandall.com/TurboTenant, because I want you to have all of the knowledge, all of the tools, and all of the resources that you need to be successful. This is Noelle. To your success.